All righty, we're ready.
All right, we're going here. Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to the Art of Losing Your Butt and Finding Your Why. I'm Doug.
And I'm Christy.
And this week, this episode is going to be talking about stretching and mobility and how stretching can help you in your daily life, how it may affect you if you don't stretch, and some things that happen as you get older when your body seems to tense up and stretching becomes more and more important as you go on. I'd say the first thing I'd like to talk about probably was that everyone knows stretching for warming up for exercises before you work out at the gym. And this is mostly important because it just helps getting everything, the blood flowing, get you prepared. It's very big on injury prevention when you're in the gym. If you go into an exercise without stretching, without warming up first, you're much more likely to get injured. And for me, that's the biggest risk of all. So I don't want to hurt myself because if you tear a muscle, you're out for a long time for it to, surgery is most of the time needed if you tear something like a bicep, and then you have to wait for it to heal.
That actually,
yeah,
the older set in physical therapy.
And it becomes much more injury prone. You become the older you get.
Yeah, and sometimes the repair doesn't go so well.
True. You're chancing that it even gets repaired properly and that it heals right, and that you get most of your mobility back by the time everything heals. It's even more important to stretch with it being the summertime. A lot of people don't drink enough water, and the more dehydrated you are, the more likely you are to be injured while working out.
One of the other things is it actually improves your posture.
Oh, absolutely.
You're lengthening your muscles. So This is one of the things where in physical therapy we see a lot as people get older, they start doing this thing.
Slowly hunch more.
Yeah.
And more and more.
They go from standing up to kind of that C look or an L look,
Yes.
And that's because their muscles are getting tight because that's the only way they're sitting, depending on how they're sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't move much. So their muscles start to contract. So if we can get everybody to stretch and work on the mobility throughout the ages, then your chance of doing this are less.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, if you've ever seen like an older person, they start, even younger people. A lot of people nowadays work on computers a lot. Yep. A lot of people work over top of it's very prominent in the cooking community, the restaurant community, because chefs are generally leaned over a counter chopping, and you're kind of leaned over. The counters are always low.
And if you're a tall chef,
God forbid you're over 6 foot tall, you will, if you don't think to stand up straight the whole time you're chopping, if you're not very aware of what you're doing and you don't stay aware of your posture, you will find yourself slowly but surely throughout the day hunching over more and more. And then it'd be lunchtime and you'll realize your neck hurts and you don't know why, or your upper back seems to be like tight and you're not exactly sure why. I know, like I said, it becomes much more important as you get older. My father has experienced this in just his daily activities. He realized that his mobility was starting to decrease as he got older. His muscle strength, muscles start to atrophy. If you don't use them, you lose them. And for instance, the reason he realized it was he got over to a friend's house, sat on the couch. It was a very deep-seated couch. And when he tried to get up off the couch, he realized he couldn't get up.
Right.
He sat down for about an hour and he realized he did not have the actual strength in his core or his legs to push himself up out of that couch. He had to roll out of the couch and get down on his knees and climb up from there. And he asked me what he could do to help this. And I just taught him some, basic sit and stand exercises and, stretching on a daily basis. Just a couple minutes. It doesn't take much. It could be first thing in the morning. It can be before you go to bed, whenever you find time, It's a great
I like to tell people to try to stretch in the morning before they get out of bed.
Yeah.
And stretch before you go to bed.
Yeah. A few times a day, a couple minutes. It's nothing.
Because one of the things is it increases your range of motion.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. So when you're having that problem with your shoulders locking up, and the more you stretch, the more range of motion you're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, this is especially important for our diabetics out there. It's going to improve your circulation.
Oh, circulation's a big thing.
So stretching the limbs, upper and lower, helps keep that circulation going to your extremities, so you're not losing things.
Yeah. Especially, and that is very important with diabetics because, they are very susceptible to having issues, with your feet, especially your toes, where that blood flow is getting to at the very last bit. it tends to be the least amount of blood flow that gets to those pieces of your body. And with diabetics, God forbid you have a compromised vasculatory system, you end up with weaknesses. You get a good enough blood flow supply, things start to die. Yeah, no good, no good.
And the other thing though too is it reduces stress.
Definitely.
When you find that you're getting stressed out about things, do a little 5-minute stretch.
Yeah.
A full body stretch.
Yeah.
And it does help reduce the stress level.
And this goes to what she's saying. Think about like yoga. If you really are interested in this idea and you want to know what it's all about, try a yoga class. You will slowly be introduced to different poses and stretches over a maybe 20-minute, 30-minute, 45-minute session. And you will find yourself leaving there so much more relaxed than when you went in. It's kind of surprising, and it shocks me to this day. Kind of like meditation, one of those things where you don't understand that it works as well as it does until you experience it, and then it's like, oh, this really does have something to it.
And once again, because it helps with the stress, it also helps with mental health.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand.
Yep.
Hand in hand. The calmer you are, the better off you are. The stress and fatigue that people carry from day to day, it just wears you down. Then you have higher cortisol levels, then you're storing all that belly fat. You're not as likely to burn your calories that you should during the day. You're more likely to store your fat that you consume. And it's no good for you. And it's a vicious circle. You stress, you put on a little weight, you stress more, you put on a little bit more weight. It just kind of, you've got to find a way to break the cycle, is what I try to say. And just day-to-day life, the stretching makes a huge difference. Because you don't realize in every day how much you do that involves something that would be helped by stretching, whether that's, getting up and down out of a chair, whether that's reaching up into that cabinet that's really high up in your kitchen or really far down low, or, you
something off the floor.
Yes, you drop something underneath the couch and you have to get down on your hands and knees and reach deep underneath the couch or something like that.
You fall and have to get up.
Or yeah, there you go. You slip and fall, or God forbid, trip over something. And yeah, it scares me. The reason I say that is because I have a father who's older. I have friends who have grandparents. A good friend of mine who is older now, gentleman, is having some issues and trying to get it figured out with vascular issues. And he just doesn't seem to want to get on the exercise or any of that bandwagon, and kind of is just denying it. Like, if I don't admit it, I'm not actually sick, or I'm not actually facing anything. And he's kind of at that denial stage, and it's really tough to watch, because people all around him are explaining to him, listen, if you just went to the gym a couple days of the week, if you stretched every morning, you very well may be not facing any of these problems. And he thinks because he works every day that it's fine. He's on his feet all day. He's got to be getting enough exercise, but he's just, he's losing muscle, and he's not listening to anybody, and it's frustrating. So catch it while you're young. The earlier you start, the better off you are, but it's never too late, is what I want to tell you. If you find yourself, with back pain, with chronic, leg pain, those sorts of things, try it. It cannot hurt. Unless you have some serious injury, something that needs to heal, or something the doctor has told you not to do expressly, I would say give it a shot, because you'd be surprised what it could do for you.
So, one day I'm going to have to bring in a bunch of stretches and just record you doing them.
Oh yeah, we could do that. We could certainly post a video of different stretches and routines, things you can do. And there's all kinds, like I said, as far as like yoga and Pilates and different things that they have now that incorporate a lot of different poses. And you can take it as far as you want to. It can be very basic things, or it can be super advanced, people bending over backwards, or being really stretching their spines. I mean, there's some people that are very flexible. And I've seen some people in the yoga class right here, where the room we're currently in, that are in their 70s, like women that can do splits and things that still, they got into it. They just pushed themselves a little further each day, stretching a little bit more and more. And now they're more limber than I am. And these women are 72 years old.
And see, that's where I didn't get on the train soon enough, because with both, putting muscle on.
Yeah.
I didn't get into the stretching thing soon enough.
I get that.
So now I'm trying to stretch out bulked out muscles that don't want to stretch.
Right. It just makes it that much. It can make it harder.
Then you get limited mobility.
Right.
You
Right.
know, even when you put more muscle on, you know, all of a sudden you start not being able to move quite as well as you.
You can be giant and muscular, but if you haven't stretched,
Mm-hmm.
you have giant biceps and you can't reach your own back.
Right.
There's a video out there, I'm pretty sure, of Eddie Hall, a professional powerlifter, messing with one of his friends and putting a Post-it note square on the center of his back because he's just big enough and not stretched for the day that he can't reach over his own back like this. You know, he can't touch his own back.
Jay Cutler did a whole thing on how, you know, in his prime, how he was big and built and everything. He couldn't swim. He didn't have the mobility to swim.
You have enough mobility just to swim. I mean, again, they're talking about extremes there, but it affects people in everyday life. It really does. You don't realize just how much stuff you do on a daily basis. That you being more limber would make it so much smoother. You know, you ever taken a long car drive and your back aches? You know, if you had done some lumbar stretches before you left, there's a good chance you may not have experienced that.
And in the physical therapy side of things, you know, we tell people when you're going to take a long ride like that you know, you need to take a break every couple hours.
Yes.
Get out and stretch.
Definitely.
And stretch your feet and everything. Because that's the other thing too. As you get older, you're more prone to blood clots. From inactivity. And that stretching, even if you're just sitting there flexing your toe, your feet back and forth.
Yep.
At least it's something.
Anything. Yeah, I mean, just for instance, for the elderly, they sell all kinds of things now. Whether it's a foot machine that lets you pump 2 little steppers on it while you're even sitting in a chair, or it's like the bottom end of a bicycle, just 2 pedals that you pedal while you're sitting. Little things like that can make all the difference, especially for someone who's older, who's say in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, who's in the home all day, and doesn't exactly feel safe or comfortable going out and taking a walk around the neighborhood or anything. It just gives them something to do. That little something, just a couple minutes here and there, that makes a huge difference.
So they both use it for half an hour on their legs. And then I taught them, I was like, you can use it for your arms too. Huh? You put it up on a table.
Oh, yeah.
And you can do your arm thing.
Oh, same thing. Yes. Yes. So. My dad always used, he got into using this, they sell these sticks for people for stretching, behind their back, for doing this, and different maneuvers that allow you to stretch muscles using a bar that's pushed against yourself. And I was trying to show him different things that he can do. And same with the exercises of getting up and down out of a chair. You're just working your legs and building them back up, because it's so much easier to atrophy and lose muscle, especially when you're older, than it is to put it back on.
Oh yeah.
And say for my father's sake, say he loses 5 pounds, 10 pounds of muscle out of his legs, and now he can't get up out of a couch. If he keeps continuing down this path, eventually he won't be able to easily get up out of a chair, and it just progresses from there. But now for him to put that muscle back on, now he has to go back to working those muscles on a daily basis and eating close to his maintenance, if not in a little bit of a surplus, for his body to be able and to choose to build that muscle back. So, you're talking about months, of him doing this every day now for him to be able to confidently get up out of a couch. And it takes some work, but like I said, catch it before it's too late is what I want to tell you. If you stay on top of it and you stay limber and you stretch on a daily basis, twice a day, morning and night, a couple minutes, you'd be surprised what it'd do for you throughout the day. It's a great day for me personally. I'd like to get my day started first thing in the morning. Personally, it's my time to say a prayer, stretch for a couple minutes, and then go for coffee. That starts my day. So give it a shot. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We'd be more than happy to help. Share your experiences down below. If you have any experiences with stretching, or you have any loved ones that have had any issues from not being limber or mobile enough, and feel free to subscribe, comment, share.
Spit it out.
I got it all. Got it all in routine now. We've got it all figured out. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope you liked the episode. Like I said, please feel free to share any comments below. We'll see you next week. Thanks.